Hi, Donna. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. The sun is shining, hopefully where you are. Hi, Glenda. Good morning, Karen. I love how you guys are all talking to each other. That's so awesome. Hey, Jessica. Thanks for joining. So we're going to make this really simple card today. This is actually a card that we're going to make at our card party on Friday. Hi, Ginger and Adrian. Good morning, Kathy. Thank you guys all for stopping in today. This card is going to be really simple, but before we make this, I'm just going to go over a couple things. There were a couple questions yesterday when I did my surprise unboxing. Hi, Trudy. Good morning, Barb from Illinois and Amy from Indiana. This always reminds me of Romper Room, which I loved when I was growing up. Does anybody remember that show? I loved that show. And one time they saw Rachel, I was like over the moon. Kind of like yesterday when I have anybody join my Facebook page and we're like all interacting. It's like craziness. Oh my gosh, snow again? Oh, Donna, I feel for you. I feel for you guys in Ohio. It is really, really cold here today, though, in Maryland, I will tell you. It was a frost warning again last night, so luckily I kind of wait to plant stuff until after Mother's Day, because that's kind of like the general rule. So there you go. Exactly. Isn't that so funny? Romper, romper, stomper, do. I love it. All right, so what I want to show you, yesterday someone asked, so I want to pull this out and show you guys what I was talking about yesterday. So these are 12 by 12 page protectors that they sell in the Stampin' Up catalog. So these are kind of more for people who are scrapbookers, but a while back, it's probably been about a year now, Sarah had talked about how she uses these to keep her designer series paper all together. So basically what you do is, let me grab one here. Gosh, everything I'm wanting to grab today is like precariously sitting somewhere. So what you do is you grab your whole stack that you pulled out, and then I keep the back page in, like I said, and then what you do is you just slip it into this because it fits absolutely perfectly. You slip it in just like that, so it keeps your pages like really neat, straight up, because I have all mine kind of sitting on the floor. Or you could probably put them, yeah, Ohio. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Ohio. You guys are like my best viewers. Every time I go in and look on that, it always says your video is really popular in Ohio. So thanks, Ohio, for watching. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to make a Ohio State card at some point. And I'm sure there's probably another big college there. But yeah, an Ohio State card. We're going to have to figure out one. So anyway, what you do is you put this in and then it holds your paper nice and neat. And the other cool thing is, let me show you one I have with some cut up pieces. Let's see. Oh, here's another good one. Whoops, and that one was upside down. That's not good. This is a paper that's actually going to be retiring, by the way, just in case you don't have your hands on it. But the cool part is, then you can put all of your little scraps in here, and everything is still all together. So, and again, this is one that I had like multiple packs of, but this is one that's going to be retiring. I'm gonna have to come visit you. That will be fun. Good morning, Brita. So then you have all your scraps and everything like all in one place. And even if they're like tiny or, you know, depending on what they are, you'll have all your extra pieces in case you're looking for something. But these, just in case you didn't know, this set is retiring. This was one that was really, really cool. And actually, in case you missed it, my Michigan viewers, you know, I haven't had a video pop up yet that says I'm popular in Michigan, so we'll have to wait and see. However, that's where my dad was born, so there's like a slight, he was born in Detroit, but they didn't stay there for very long. When you go to Ohio, to Missouri, I've been to Missouri, actually, I've been to Branson, Ginger, a long time ago, the country music capital of the world. Oh, you guys are fun. This sounds like it'll be a fun trip. So we did go to Branson. So we've been there. It's been quite a while ago, but so these little guys have actually a framelit set, and they also have a stamp set. So you could stamp these little dudes, and they're pretty much like this little girl's facing backwards, which is cute. And then they have the poodle and the chef and everything. So they have, this stamp set is retiring. And then there's also a set of thinlets that goes with it. And the thinlets, try to put these so they don't fall, actually match. So you can cut these, you can cut the little girl out. Even the front facing little girl cuts out. And then they have all these little critters here. So these are really fun. So just in case you didn't know, you can cut out the banner, just the banner if you wanted to, just like that. Or you can stamp a banner and cut it out. So there's lots of different things you can use this for. Same thing with the fox. You can cut out this fox if you didn't want to stamp it. So a lot of the stamp sets, just in case that's kind of something that really didn't catch your eye, you are able to use a lot of these on the designer series paper as well as with the stamp sets. So the same thing is for the wizards. I know a lot of people, not the wizard set, the magical set, a lot of people were kind of wondering where some of those pieces came from. And I should take a picture of this and sit in here because I can never remember how I put it back together again after the fact. That's okay. I'll figure it out. But like the wizard set, and let me pull out that paper. There was a few pieces that people were kind of like, where did you get that from? Because it was facing in a completely different direction. Here it is. So you can use the magical mates to cut out some of these guys as well. So now I know the mermaids, they don't face the same direction. So the mermaids you would cut out with the stamp set, but there's also the wizards. And then the cool part is the other thing that people really like too, were just the dragons. And these honestly will cut out fairly simply without really a whole lot of effort. But you have the fat lazy dragon, you have your knights that you can cut out. So you can cut out your knight so that way if you wanted it to be a little bit, oh, he doesn't match up exactly. That one I fibbed about. But you can cut out a lot of the other parts from this and kind of add them too. And then you have all your sparkly wizards. I'm really sad that this is, there kind of is. Yes, the little coffee cup. So the little coffee cup is different. Just to go back, and I love fussy cutting too, but the little coffee cup actually matches the DSP, which I just ordered 3 packs of the other day because I'm actually doing a project with it for someone, and I was kind of almost out of it because I didn't realize how awesome it was. Where the heck did I do with that paper? I must have pulled it out to make something. Oh, here it is. So I just happen to have this out, so I'll show you. So anyway, you have your wizards. This is retiring, as are the little framelets and the stamp set. I had the stamp set somewhere different. But so these guys, you can cut a lot of different stuff out as well. But I do like fussy cutting. I don't know, something about it. It's just for me, I enjoy it. Which is probably why it wasn't really a pain for me to cut out 30 of those flamingos that I had to stamp. All right, let me slide this back in here so I don't lose this. But I also have like all my little extra pieces in here. So that's why I like this. And that way, the other thing is too, when you're finished with it, like if this retired, and say, once you use your DSP, I know, that's exactly right. That's a good question. That's why you need to buy more before it's discontinued. You can remember exactly what it's called, all the colors that go with it, which is pretty simple. Let me pop this one away, and I'll show you the other one. The coffee, now the coffee cups and the framelets are not retiring, but the paper is retiring. So what you can do with your cup is, because I have this one handy as well, because I was making some gift cards, is you can use this one to cut out this one. And then there's like another that would fit on this one as well. So you could cut out all these little coffee cups, and then you would have way less work to do. You could decorate your card with all these little dudes, which I love this sheet. This sheet is, I think, one of my absolute favorite sheets, which is why I had to buy more, because I used almost all of it up on making a couple cards that I really liked. So, and I love these old time percolators. They're so cute. So cute. All right. So anyway, so that's how I store my designer series paper. I store it in the 12 by 12 sheets. They can be found in the online store. And again, I got that idea from Sarah because people had asked her, this was a while ago when she was doing videos on like storage and whatnot, on how she stores all the stuff that she has. So that's basically what I did. So I also am one that if I have a DSP that I really, really love, I will buy a couple extra packs of it if I know it's going to retire, simply for the fact of, because I might like to have something in the future. A coffee press, yeah. I love, and I love coffee too, so that's why I bought, I think 3 packs extra of that just to be on the safe side. And ironically enough, I did not own the stamp set. I just got the framelits when they were on sale, whenever that was. So I just recently bought some more of the DSP, and then I bought the stamp set as well. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to make this card today. It's very, very simple, and you can completely add in a little panel, but we're going to be making this at the card class on Friday. So I don't know if any of them are watching, but this is one of the cards we're making. It's really simple, and it's also really simple if you wanted to swap it out to a different theme. So what I used is I used the Happy Birthday from the At Home With You stamp set. This is going to be carrying over. This also has a framelit set. So it's a very simple Happy Birthday because I kind of wanted it to be a simple card, but you could also, if you wanted to kind of jazz it up a little bit, you could do something different, which the Truly Tailored bundle is retiring. The stamp set is retiring, but the punch itself is going to carry into the next catalog, but it'll go with some other stuff. So you could also, if you wanted to, you could stamp one of these and you could put it onto this paper. You could do something also different. Instead of using the wood paper, you could use the Truly Tailored paper because this would make a really pretty card. You could just use like similar, you could stick with something that had all like Dapper Denim and the Emerald Envy, which these are going to be retiring. So you could kind of make this card, but with this paper instead. I do love the tailored punch, but you guys know they seem to not carry over, seems to me anyway, they don't carry over the Mother's Day and the Father's Day or the Easter stuff really. That kind of stuff tends to retire with the catalog. So anyway, you could do this as a Happy Birthday. You could also do this, I mean, this is a very subdued card. You could do it as a thinking of you or as a sympathy card, honestly, because it's a very neutral card. So I thought this would be fun today, and I thank my friend Rhonda. She's the one that sent me this idea. She got it on Pinterest somewhere. So what I did to make this thinner ribbon here was I took some of the baker's twine and I kind of unraveled it. So what I did is I pulled this apart. Okay, so that one was 1 thread, and you probably really don't need that much. I wrapped it around twice, but I'm going to show you how to do this one. And this is birthday delivery. Yes, that is so cute. I love that. I do love that bundle. I'm going to miss that one for sure. So you're going to just pull this apart. It's really simple. And honestly, if you wanted to, you could even separate the threads out a little bit more to get more for your money if you'd like. So just kind of depends on what you want to do. But what I did was, so the Wood Textured Designer Series paper stack, that's always a mouthful. This is carrying over into the new catalog, the Wood Textures paper, which is pretty unusual because a lot of times the paper does not carry over. So this paper is a really hot seller. Kind of as our wood paneled things, like we have that wood plank embossing folder, and when we have the wood, I think what is called hardwood, the background stamp. Wood is really great if you're ever struggling to make a masculine card. Wood is really great for that. So if you're ever really having a hard time, that's something easy that you can do. So hi Tammy and Darcy, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. So what we're going to do is, you could do this 2 different ways. So I'm going to show you the way I did it here, but you could also do it a different way. And then I just put a panel for the inside over here. So I have a background is going to be Early Espresso, and I do have to trim this. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to trim it into a half sheet, and I'm going to show you something different you could do if you'd like. So this card, as you can see, it opens this way. Okay, you could make it open this way. You could also make it so it was a top opening card, so it folded this way. So it just depends on what you want to do. So I'll show you how to do that the other way, just so we have it. So I'm going to cut this in half at 5 1/2. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, so then if you want, and also just a quick thing, if you're having a hard time with getting your paper, when you score it where it has the indent, you want to fold it into that. Okay, you don't want to fold it opposite because then you'll get more of the hard creases. So wherever you make the dent in the paper when you score, you want to fold into it because it breaks the fibers up a little bit. So if you ever notice that your cardstock is cracking, it could likely be because either you don't have a big enough dent or you're folding it the wrong way. So if you fold it out, it makes it have like that sheared edge and it could make your paper tear. So whenever you score, if you're scoring, you want to fold into it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So we're going to just take our bone folder just to reinforce that. And then what I said I did for this card is I cut a panel that was 4 1/4 by 5, I'm sorry, 4 by 5 1/4, so it was small. If you didn't want to have this much of an edge, the other thing you could do is, I'm gonna put this one aside, you could take your leftover panel and you could cut the exact same size. So it would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That way it's gonna layer completely on top and it'll follow edge to edge. So if that's something you want to do, you could do that as well. Just kind of depends on how you want your card. So if you like the little border, you can cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. If you don't, if you want it whole, just leave the same thing. So it's a whole sheet. And this might be just a hair off with my cutting, but this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel. So really just depends on what you want to do with it. So what you're going to do, I'm going to set this on the side. That's the smaller one. I'm going to use the smaller one. And I have my base layer, and then I just have a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside. You could use Whisper White if you wanted to, but I just picked vanilla just because I kind of thought it would go a little bit more with the baker's twine. So you need at least 10 punches, okay? But even with having 10 punches, so this is just one I punched yesterday, and I kind of decided to use the sentiment onto a lighter thing. Other thing you could do though is you could, because the black embossing powder is going to be coming back, you could use a dark one, and you could use Versamark, and you could add black embossing powder. So that you could make it on a darker one if you like, but just another option. So you want to cut out at least 10 of these because we're also going to fill in all these other little bits here, and we have all the way to the corner. So if that's something that you want to do to the corner, it's really easy to use up your scraps. So whatever you do, kind of hang on to everything. I even have like some extra pieces here that I hung on to just so I could patch them in if I needed to. So we'll just start. You can do light, you can do dark, doesn't matter. So we have, so that's 2. And then this one, so this like little piece even here, you could take this and cut it about halfway because you can always fill this in somewhere. So don't throw away your scraps until you're like really sure you can't do anything with this. You can even put this on the edge and slide it in and have a little end piece to use on one of these little spots here. So until you really think you're done with your paper, hang on to it when you're finished making your card. All right, let's see if we can get one out of this. And you can kind of even fit it sideways. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's 3. Do another one from here. And you can kind of stick to like the same colors if you want. You can have them going different grains, different directions. But this was a really, I have to find out who the person was that, my friend Rhonda found this on Pinterest. So I'll have to go back and ask her to send me the pin link so I can give the person credit that started this. Because this is a pretty cool card. This is one that I love. So we'll do this one here with the knot. We'll do that one in honor of my grandfather because he didn't like knots in his paper. This is another cool one. However, with the way this goes, I would stick away from having the ends. But if you like the ends, that's fine. I kind of had mine be very similar in style, so it kind of all flowed together really well. All right, here's another one. And then some of these do have different sides, so you could use both sides. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what else is in here. Has a lot of different patterns to this paper. 8, I'm going to do 2 of these. 9, that's got 2 sides as well. And how about this real scrapped up one? 10. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to keep all this here close to me because I'm going to need to add in some little bits. All right, so kind of what you have to do is just decide what, first of all, what do you want to be your kind of starting point? And then which one are you going to put your sentiment on? So I'm going to put my sentiment onto this one with the long running stripes. And also you could put it on this side if you wanted to. So you're going to kind of just eyeball putting your pieces together. Again, it just depends on how close you want them to be. You don't want to get too crazy with this yet. You just kind of want to give yourself an idea because the more you put down, the more likely you're going to move them. So what I kind of generally did was added just a few. Okay, so I'm not going to put this down. I'm going to put another one up here just for spacing, because this one up here, I did this kind of just a teeny bit crooked. So you could use liquid glue, which will help you if you are, I know, hey, Uncle, you gotta love Rhonda. Yes, she always has great ideas. So I'm gonna start with just one panel. So I'm gonna leave my sentiment panel here, kind of just for eyeballing. And I know I just moved it a little bit, but I'm gonna put them down with snail. Now, if you're worried, if you wanna be able to adjust them a little bit more, you could use the liquid glue, because it'll give you the time to be able to move them around. So I'm going to put this one in, and then I'm going to grab one right here. I'm going to put one top and one bottom. That way we at least have kind of our framework. Put this one in here just for the spacing. And again, you can make it tighter if you wanted to. You can make it a little bit farther out. I'm going to go with this side. Put this one in. Okay, so now I'm going to put this one on the side. That way I remember that's for my sentiment. And then I'm just going to keep adding this in. Okay, so we're going to add in different pieces. Doesn't really matter the color. You can kind of do it however you like. And you don't want to put, see, this one I made just a teeny bit crooked, but see, there we go. You don't want to put adhesive all the way to the end when you know you have your end pieces. Only because that way you can reuse them without gumming up your scissors. Okay, so I'm not going to, there's a little bit of adhesive on the back of this one, so I'm not going to push that part down just yet. And then this piece is fabulous. I should have saved that for the center. Puzzles. Yeah, see, this is just like a puzzle. Absolutely. Put this one down here. And I probably put a little bit more than I should have, but what I can do is I can take this little piece down here and fill it in up top somewhere. So we'll just keep going with that. On here. So again, I'm going to just put this in so I remember where it is going to go. So I have another. So we'll put this light one on the side. Doesn't really need probably as much tape as I'm putting on, but that. And we'll add one of these roughed up ones down here to the bottom. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to, this is going to be here. I'll put this dark one up top. So now I'm going to start trimming, because I'm going to need to add in all my little extra pieces. And again, you don't have to add them in. You could completely stop here and be fine with where everything's lined up. But I kind of thought it would be fun. All right, so this is our piece that we're going to put our words on. So now what I did is I just took my scissors, and you can see I got a little bit of something on these yesterday. I try to use scissors. I try to use them sometimes only for cutting, because I find that I gum them up a little bit. But yeah, now you get to two in one. That's awesome. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to trim this off. And you can flip this over if it's easier, just to see where you're lining up. This one has a little bit of adhesive on it. So if you don't want to gum up your scissors, you can either kind of rub the adhesive off or just kind of stick your finger to it. It'll take a little bit of the tacky off. And we're going to pull that one off. I'm going to set this face up so it doesn't get stuck. I think most of the rest of these I was smart enough, except on this one, to not put too much adhesive too far. Another cool thing I wanted to tell you that I had watched someone do on a video the other day has to do with photopolymer stamps. You know, Karen, I'm not really sure the rhyme or reason why they retire things, because some of the things that are so popular, I honestly don't know why they retire them. My guess would be, though, like the whole thing with, we were talking about the other day with the what the heck was that one called? I was trying to think of the name. With the Nailed It bundle. I think honestly more so it was just because it was like kind of more like a Father's Day kind of thing, and they don't seem to carry that over quite as much. So what I did was I just put a little bit of adhesive. This one is the same color, so I'm going to move it actually. Put it over here. I put a little bit of adhesive on this, and I'm just going to trim the rest of it off. So I really don't know the rhyme or the reason why they do or don't retire whatever they do or don't retire. That to me, I'm a little mind boggled by, but again, I'm not really privy to too much information of that sort yet. Okay, so I'm going to put this other cool one that I had right up here. So this is going to be the top again. So I'm going to just slide this in. Just like that. And I'm going to, again, just give it a press to the paper because we can trim this last little bit off. And just to make it a little light at the top, we'll add this little piece up here. Again, just kind of filling it in. Have this little one here. I'm going to add just a teeny something down here at the bottom. Let's see, I'll put this little piece in. So probably the most part about this is at the end when you're doing your little pieces. But honestly, really, this card, and then we're going to put a little one right here. This card is really quick to make. And we'll put, that's the same color. Let's go with something light. We'll put this little light one over here. Just right here on the side. Because this, even though it's similar to our this that's going to be there, it's okay. We'll let that one slide. So then all I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to go back in and just trim off the pieces. So like at this point, this piece, because we cut the nub off of, you could probably get rid of that one. This little thing here, we're not going to really probably be able to use this little sliver. So I'll get rid of this. Oops, cut that a little bit closer. But like this one up here, these two I'll keep because you could use them for like a top fill-in if you needed one. And then these little, oh, I moved my trash can, I forgot. It's all ending up on the floor. These little corner pieces here, I'm going to just throw these away. So kind of once you get to like your scrappiest of your scrap, then you can get rid of it. All right. And I just want to tell you guys, all those of you that commented on the Rainbow Stamper Guy's video, I read him all the stuff. And he really thought that was really nice that you guys took time to write. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, how likely is that, Diana? He really, really loves to hear all the little comments you guys leave. So thank you very much for doing that. He really, he loves making videos. And I tell you, I don't really kind of suggest him to make the videos. He keeps asking me, well, when can I make another one? So we did make 2 yesterday. So I'll post the other one tomorrow. Give you a little something to look forward to. And then he also does pick out all of his cards. Or his stamp sets that he wants to use in the colors. You can see he picks as he goes. Okay, so now we have our sentiment piece. So what we can do is we can just do the same thing that I did. What did I do with my little stamp set? We could do this. We could do happy birthday again. If you wanted to make this into like a guy card, we could stamp this onto here. We could stamp looking sharp onto here. You could stamp anything else that you like. You could do this as a sympathy card. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Thank you. Really, it could be anything. It could just be thinking of you. There's so many things you could do with this. And again, I have all my extra pieces over here. And I just keep these. I haven't found a super way to store these yet. Probably could put them in a clear sleeve. But I tend to keep them in the wrapper. That way I know what paper it is and I kind of keep all my scraps. But I'll put all these extra scraps, anything that doesn't have tape on it, that has tape on it. I'll put all these back because even like these little slim pieces, you could cut like a top piece from it. Have a whole bunch of extra ones. These two are trash. And then what I'll do is I'll have my paper kind of slid into the thing and then I'll fit the pieces inside of that. That way you don't have to wrestle with kind of shoving them all in against that little thin paper. And then I'll just slide them all back in together. And I have a whole entire another pack of this paper because I love it so much. And I was kind of worried a while back that they would decide not to carry it over. But luckily the wood textures is carrying over. So then everything is right back in here again. So I just keep it all together. That way I can use it for scraps and whatnot. Okay, so how about if we'll do happy birthday? See, this would even be great because it's a wood card. We got to do this one instead. How about this? Say you went and stayed at somebody's house, right? And you wanted to send them a thank you card, but you wanted to make it like a little bit different. This is another thing we could do too. Like ideas are just popping in my head now. So we're going to stamp this with thanks. And then on the inside for your most amazing hospitality. Because that's a really fun one you could use too. Like this is a little bit outside the box. For, let me see, we'll pull the hospitality off. We could use this outside of the box, basically, for a thank you card. Or you could even put grateful for your amazing hospitality. That'll be cute too, but I think I want to do No, we'll do grateful. That'll be fun. That'll be something different. Excuse me. Okay, so other thing I wanted to tell you was, I was watching a video the other day, and someone told me that before, someone told me, they didn't tell me. I saw someone say, before they stamp, what they do is they take their photopolymer and they stick it on their hand. They like hit it against their palm to kind of give it a little bit of grip for the ink to stick to better. So maybe that will work. Maybe it won't. But we'll find out in a minute. I don't think I've used either of these stamps yet. So you just stick it on your block. Oops, that's upside down. And then this especially I think is really helpful if you have like a large image. Like for example, a large solid flower, and you kind of stick it to your hand. Also, some people have said too that they use Versamark. So another idea that someone shared was, before they use their photopolymer the first time to prevent staining, they actually stamp it with Versamark and let it dry. So I didn't do this ahead of time, but basically what you would do is you would take your stamp, you stamp it, you know, just lightly, stamp it lightly with Versamark, and then you just set it on the side to let it dry. And supposedly, I think the Versamark kind of makes a little bit of a barrier for the ink going to your stamps. So hopefully that will work. But again, I haven't tried it, so I'm not really 100% on that one. So what we'll do is we will do the inside with the hospitality. We'll do that with soft suede. So I'm going to put this on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on the inside page first. That way, just in case it doesn't come out clear, I can flip it over. I'll put that right here. And I saw the coolest thing the other day. Someone was asking for, what are your best stamping tips for like being a new demonstrator? And they said, there's 2 sides to every piece of paper. So isn't that the truth though? You can always flip it over. So the other thing you could do too, which would be really cool, is you could put like the little lantern in the corner, or you could put the flowers if you wanted to, or the basket. You could even put just this little sign if you wanted to put that on the thank you. That would be cute as well. Let's do that. We'll put that on the sign. And then we'll put the grateful inside of it. Hopefully it'll fit. I haven't tried that before. All right, so let's do this. You guys know I always do things like spur of the moment here, so we'll see if it works. All right, so I'm going to put my little sign, kind of give it like a little bit of extra detail. So I'm going to stamp my sign. So I get it on there without a mess. Perfect. Now it's not quite as dark, and also it's not really quite as centered. So let me flip it over. I'll try one more time. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one early espresso, so it's a little bit darker, and then I'll add the words in soft suede, and we'll see which one looks better. See if I can make this quite a bit straighter. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, if you do use a foam mat. So this isn't as dark as I would want it to, but we'll go with it. That's okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put the grateful. I wonder what this is going to look at. I'm going to try this on the inside of this just to see if it's dark enough. I might actually have to do it in black. Let's put this right in the center. Cool part about these photopolymer stamps is you can line them right up. It'll be right in the middle there. It's a little too light. So what I'm going to do is, since I stamped it on the other side, I'm going to stamp it in black. Where's my memento? We'll stamp this in black on the other side and see if it is a little bit more noticeable. It is a great masculine card, but it's also really just like a great neutral card. If you have like a bunch of cards, that's much better. And I kind of wish the sign was a little bit darker. Let me see if I can line it up on top. We'll see. This might be a disaster. I'll put my head in the middle there. Let's see. This is a great card if like you had a bunch of cards and you didn't really know who you wanted to use them for. You could just pull this one out. That looks better. I actually lined that up pretty well considering. And kind of the way it lined up, it's got like a little bit of the early espresso, so it kind of looks like a little bit of a shadow. And you could do that if you wanted to. You could take your soft suede and your blender pen. Let's make sure this one doesn't have any white on it. And you could just take a little bit of this and kind of make it like bleed a little bit, so it makes it look like a little wooden sign there. Just a little bit on the inside. Smidge on the bottom. So there, cool. Okay. But a great card to have, like if you have cards and you need to have some backup cards. Another fun thing while we're at it, you know, can't leave well enough alone. We'll take the early espresso and we'll just lightly sponge the edges of this just to make it stick out a little bit more. Kind of also make it, since I had that other piece that was kind of similar in color to it, it'll make it look a little bit different. But, I mean, even if you only had like light pieces, say you only had all light pieces of that paper left, you could distress them and make them all look different. So you could have all the same color paper, and some of them you could distress and some of them you could leave plain. But then all we're going to do is just put that right there in the middle, which looks really cute. Just make sure you put enough glue that it doesn't fall off so nobody sees your whoopsie. A cool thing you could do this as well. You want to take it to another level, put this piece up on dimensionals. You could pop this one up. You could use either the foam strips or the dimensionals, and then it will be sticking up off of it. If you wanted to do this flat, you could do this little sign. That also has a framelit set that At Home With You has framelits. You could cut the sign out and you could pop the sign up instead. So lots of different ideas on what you can do. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to go ahead and separate the rest of this. So this is, I believe it's Very Vanilla Baker's Twine. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is in the catalog now, and I cannot remember if it is or isn't carrying over because the ribbon stuff is kind of hard to remember. So this might be disappearing. So you might want to check the list on that one. And so I just pulled this apart. So this was actually wrapped 3 times. So this was the first piece, and then I have the second piece. And what I did with this was I wrapped it more than once. I wrapped it around. That way I could tie it. If you don't want to use that much ribbon, if you feel like you're wasting it or whatever, you could just do it once. You could absolutely do that however you wanted to. You could tie it so it had a bow, but I kind of just went with a knot. That way it would kind of stay with like a very simple theme. You know, just plain, just not really plain, but just simple. That's what I mean. I don't mean to say plain. I mean to say a very simple card. And then I kind of just trim the edge off with my snips. And same with this. So now you guys know one of the cards we'll be making on Friday night. So if you have any of these supplies at home, you can pretend like you're with us and make this. Another cool idea would be, I like this one so much better just with the wood patterns of it. All the different patterns. I like this even better than this one. And it's the same exact size paper, so it's not like it's even any different. But just adding that little sign there and then the little bit of sponging is really fun. So then you could put this, if you wanted to, you could also put this up on dimensionals. That's another idea. I'm going to just put this down with a little bit of snail. And I'll put a little bit here on one side, and I'm going to put just a smidge so it kind of goes across just to hold that string in place. We're going to put this down, just line it right up. Again, if you're ever worried about how you line your cards up, if they're not going to be straight, you can always use the Tombow liquid glue because it lets you move it around a little bit. And just in case you didn't see this tip before, someone shared this with me. I did not think of this. You can put a sponge into one of these like little tiny Rubbermaid containers. Oopsie. And then what you do is you just take your glue and you squeeze it into the bottom. Just like that. So you have your little reservoir. You don't ever really have to worry about cleaning it because you're going to just consistently add more stuff to it. And I'll show you this for the inside. And then what you'll do is you'll take your sponge. So you're always going to use the round tip. And you just dip it into your glue like that. Pick it up. Put it on the back of this. This is really great too if you have really little pieces of something. Like if you have something really thin. And you could do it on your silicone mat too, because that way you don't have to worry about if you get glue on it, you can clean it up. And then all you do is you just put your sponge back in there and seal it. And just make sure you never use this for like taking your snacks to work with, because that wouldn't be good. But then when you have your panel that you're going to lay down, if you needed to like move it around a little bit, you could. But yet another cool thing that you can do with this, just in case you haven't ever heard, is you can actually use this glue if you want to make something tacky. So for example, if you were to say you were going to put a gift card in this, and I have one here somewhere, I don't know what the heck I did with it, but basically what you could do is you can use this glue and you could like stick it up here and you kind of let it air dry. And then the gift card that, oh, here's one right here. The gift card you stick to it will just stick to it very tacky, and you can pull it off without a mess. So that's another good idea for that liquid glue. I really like the liquid glue. I really like all the glues. I really like the fine tip as well, because this is really great for adding little sequins and doodads and whatnot. So yes, the tailored tag punch is carrying over. The punch is carrying over, and the wood textures designer series paper stack, mouthful, that's carrying over. However, the truly tailored, the stamp set and the paper is not carrying over. But they actually have some cool new stuff to use this with. So this is going to have some new new stamps to go with this. But if you're looking for it for making guy cards, you want to get it now, because it's going to be gone soon. And I'm sure you guys all saw yesterday that they did add some new stuff to the clearance rack. I think a lot of it is already gone, but they had a lot of paper and a lot of really great framelits, in case I know a lot of people are looking for those sometimes. It's a lot of stuff from the Christmas catalog that they kind of brought back. So if there's something you were missing, I don't think there's any stamp sets, but a lot of dies and framelits and whatnot. So thank you guys for watching. I think this card, I like this card way better even than this card, but they're both pretty cute. So anyway, really simple way to make a thank you card, a thinking of you card, a sympathy card, or just a guy card for cards you can't think of. And again, if you guys have any questions, you can always shoot me an email. I do go back and read all the comments and whatnot. And let me think what else. If you want to get on my newsletter, you just have to send me your email address and I'll add you to it. If you'd like to get a catalog when it comes out, the new catalog should be shipping, I believe mid-May. So you guys should get it probably maybe 7 to 10 days after that. So if you're not on a catalog list with someone, I'd be happy to send you a catalog. You just have to send me your full mailing address, including your zip code. And after the club class on Friday, I have 3 other cards. I still have to design a couple of them, but I have 3 other cards to design. So basically, if you guys stay tuned, I'll be sharing those with you. And I'll try to do videos for each, because I know I've mostly just done live videos lately. I haven't really done a lot of pre-recorded videos to pop onto YouTube, but I'll try to put some of those on there as well, just to share them with you. And I think this is a really cool card. I like it a lot. What was my other thing I was going to say? Christian, Rainbow Stamper Guy. There'll be a new video tomorrow. So if you didn't catch his video yesterday, it's on Facebook and it's on YouTube as well. And be sure, again, if you're watching this right now, you see there's that little red live button up there. So if that button's not up there, it's not live. However, you can always rewatch it. All the videos are on YouTube and Facebook. I usually post them to both. But anyone who's left a comment, make sure you leave a comment. I will draw a name as a winner. And one other thing I want to show you, I'm actually going to try and pull my phone up real quick so I can show you this. I actually have a new feature on my blog. I just added it the other day. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. So if you win any prize, I made a form to try to make it a little bit easier on myself. So all you have to do is you go to rachthestamper.com, and when you're scrolling on Rachthestamper, I'm sorry, mine's not as fancy as all the other ladies, it will tell you whatever the newest blog project is. It's always loaded first, okay? And then it has the, the next pages after that. But up here you'll see the menu. So if you click on menu, and it'll drop down with a few things. The first one tells you a little bit about me. The bottom one tells you if you have any information or wanted any information about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. All you have to do is click it. And the middle one, which says, I won, is if you win a prize. So all you have to do is you click on that, and it's going to take you to a page. And then all you have to do is you go here, you click this little form, and it's going to have you fill in some information, and it basically will send it directly to me. And that way I'll know all of your information, and it'll be hopefully much simpler. So, late to the party. That's okay, Janet. You know you can always watch the replay. And what do you use to go? I use my other phone, April. So I am right now shooting from my old iPhone, which was so bogged down with pictures because I kind of use it like a photo album, which is a huge no-no. So I kind of emptied out a lot of stuff. So this is just my second phone, or my other phone, should I say. So I thought it was kind of broken, but when you use it just for filming, it seems to work. So this is my other phone. So basically that's what I do. I was going to try to shoot from a camera, but that's a little bit more complicated. So I'm just shooting on an old phone that I will say I have to keep it charged because it doesn't really hold a charge very well. But I film with my old phone. And that way, the other thing that I did was I added this, that way I could watch you guys leave comments. And hopefully, because sometimes when you're watching the comments on Facebook, they scroll past so quick. And if I actually scroll it with my finger, it makes everything shake, which I try not to annoy you because that would annoy me. So I figured this way I could see the comments a little bit faster, maybe in more real time, and make sure that people were on there, because sometimes I have a hard time getting on Facebook as well. A lot of times it doesn't want to cooperate. But anyway, thank you guys very much for joining. Anyone who just recently popped on, these cards are really simple. You could use them for any occasion, really, or a guy card. But the video will go on replay on Facebook very shortly. It automatically loads, and then I will load it to the YouTube page later, and I'll put the supply list and everything. Make sure before I leave now, if you haven't already, leave a comment, even if it's just hi or whatever the weather is. Doesn't make a difference. I would appreciate it if you shared whatever it is you guys would like to do. Thumbs up, hearts, frowny faces, I'll take them all. It doesn't make a difference. And then I will enter you all in a drawing, and I will send something out. I will post the winner, and then all you have to do is go in and fill out that little prize form. Oh, you don't even need an old phone to make a live, Karen. You could just use your regular phone. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have been shooting on my regular phone all this time. It's just that I had a hard time following sometimes with the conversation, and I felt like I wasn't answering people enough. So I know you guys are kind enough that you will answer questions from people and kind of chat amongst yourselves, which is also cool. That's why I go to people's videos as well a lot of times. But that way it'll give me a little bit more interaction of not missing too much stuff. So thank you guys for the shares. I will, again, this will repost to Facebook as soon as it's finished. And I will see you back next week. Maybe next week we'll do another card from the new set, like the lily pad. I know everybody really liked that flamingo card. So maybe we'll do something with the lily pad, with the flamingo instead. That'll be fun. We'll figure out something to do. That or one of the cards we make on Friday. So I hope you guys have an awesome week. I hope it stops snowing for those people who are ready for spring like me, and at least comes to like 50 degrees will be wonderful. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.